Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast. The bad.
Okay, let's go on to the bad then, Eric. What is your bad for week 3?
Man, I'm not trying to. I had to switch divisions because I really wanted. I could go all four for all these segments with the NFC North because I feel like they all fit in it.
Right.
I was originally thinking the Vikings, but I am gonna go with the NFC East and go the Washington Commanders.
That's a good one. I like that one.
So you and me were texting. I think we texted a little bit about their Sam Howell there. I know this could have been ugly, but I have a different one for the uglies. They looked terrible. Like, I know they were against a good team in the Buffalo Bills, but they looked terrible. They did nothing right. There was one play I watched, the interception from Sam Howell throwing it, and it didn't look like he did it, like the guy was right in front of him. And I know the guy jumped and made a good play, but it was right in front of him. And the Commanders put up 3 points. It looked bad. They did not look like a good team against the Bills. And I know the Bills are one of the better teams in the NFL, but like that looked terrible.
Yeah, he had 4 interceptions. The offense was kind of moving the ball on the ground. I'm surprised it was 16-0 at halftime. I'm still surprised they didn't just kind of stick with the run and hope that they could just break one off. But their 2 running backs, Robinson averaged 7 yards a carry, and Gibson was averaging 8.5 yards a carry. They only got 12 carries between the two of them. I don't know how they did not get more rush attempts.
Got out of hand trying to play catch up, but why?
Yeah. And so when we're talking about teams that could really maybe use a Kirk Cousins type, the Commanders again are another team that I'm like, man, their defense is really good. Even though like the fourth quarter got out of hand, I just think the defense was worn out by then, by the fourth quarter. So they allowed 21 points in the fourth quarter. But anyway, I just feel like they have enough as well. And I think I've like Howell, I to try not to presume too much with these young quarterbacks, understanding that Howell's like 5th starter, whatever it is. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So you came back on the Broncos, an 18-point deficit. I think it came back and won the game last week, and that was fun. But then you watched it up and put up 70 points on them, and you got to be like, okay, so did we really? Is it we had to be down 18 points to this team? So anyway, my point is, yeah, it was not a good performance by the Commanders.
No, and I just they could have gone into my ugly category too, but it's just like they were just playing bad this week. Like I did not enjoy watching their coaching staff or anything because they should have ran the ball more. But I know that they started getting behind, so they want to get points fast. But you know what? It wasn't working.
No, was not.
Keep sticking? The definition of insanity is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. My bad. So Eric, I'm going to set this up like this. What happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object?
That's a good question.
Yeah, one of them has to win. When they're both trying to lose, one of them has to win. So it was the game between the Chargers and the Vikings. That's what I had as my bad. It was.
Hey, that works.
What's that?
That works.
Yeah. So they're basically the same team. They shoot themselves in the foot. They both have a really great offense. Their defense can't stop anyone. Their coaching staff is questionable at best. So Justin Herbert throws the game go-ahead touchdown that went through a cornerback's hand. Herbert was great, but he almost threw an interception that cost him a chance to win the game. But instead, it went through the hands of the cornerback into the receiver's hand. He ran it for a touchdown. The Chargers get the ball back on 4th and 1 on their 24-yard line. They go for it on 4th and 1. And I don't agree with that. I understand people are like, well, the defense was getting shredded all game. But guys, you make the team travel the field because there's so much. Do you want the team to go 75 yards or 24 yards? I don't know. I don't think that's rocket science. But on top of that, they call like the worst play possible, which is the play that your Tampa Bay Buccaneers called when they were on the 1 yard line. Is basically we're going to act like we're going to run it, and we're going to run it right up the middle with the fullback. They did the fullback, not the running back, and they didn't get the yard. And it's like Justin Herbert at that time was like 40 or 47. He's got this ridiculous completion. It's like, if you're going to go for it on 4th and 1, let your best player make the play. Didn't allow that. But Kirk Cousins, have no fear. He shows up. He comes out. He throws a 4th and 10, get Hawkinson in the middle of the field. And then from 35 seconds all the way down to 12 seconds, they didn't spike the ball. They didn't know what they were going to do. They rushed the play, and all of a sudden he throws the ball, it gets picked off in the end zone. So that's exactly what happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object, is that game. The Vikings outdid the Chargers.
My favorite tweet I seen during, or whatever you want to call that thing that happens on X now, is this game was all about who was going to out-charger each other, because the Chargers have been doing this for years. I thought they perfected it, but apparently the Vikings wanted to one-up them. I don't get why they didn't spike the ball, but you know what's really sad about that last play? Hawkinson should have caught that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a catchable ball, and he's the highest paid tight end in the NFL right now. So as a Viking fan, how happy are you? I would be royally upset if my $18.5 million tight end drops that, because it was catchable. It was very catchable.
Yeah.
They still should have clocked it. And then, it was just, oh my gosh, that game was so, you know what, it was entertaining. That's for sure. You never knew what was going to happen each play, for good or bad, for each team. Each play, it's like I'm just picturing a Charger fan with that, touchdown that went through the corner's hand, be like having a minor heart attack and then jumping through the ceiling because they got a touchdown out of it. And then all of a sudden the Viking fans like, oh, look at them driving down the field, they're gonna score. And then all of a sudden, it's in the safety's hand. I just imagine a roller coaster of emotion. So yes, I feel bad for you, both fans. Chargers, be happy you won. You're not 0-3. But my gosh, that game was. It was fusion.
Yeah, it was like Russian roulette, right? Like, there's a bullet in one of the chambers, and they keep hitting the shot, and it's like one of these guys is going to shoot themselves. Which one's going to do it? And it's like you're like, oh, So that was what the game was like. It was. I don't know. Both the coaches,
both coaching is bad. And now what are the Vikings gonna do? Like, I don't think they should give up on the season, but it's like almost like I do want to watch 16 games of this stuff blowing up like this. I mean, come on.
Let me tell you, what the Vikings should do. They should trade Kirk Cousins, and they should go and try to get Caleb Williams, and then put Caleb Williams with Justin Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson. Who would want to play?
Doesn't want to resign.
Well, maybe if they get Caleb Williams, they will.
True. Maybe.
And here's
it's Kirk Cousins though.
He probably wants to go to Kirk Cousins isn't necessarily the problem, but I don't think he's like the solution either, because of like, primetime Kirk Cousins, right? Like we know he has his ups and downs. Like, it's just, I don't know. He's
I get it. I'm not a Kirk Cousins fan.
Right. So that's my point. And you could have a young quarterback on a nice rookie salary, but they probably won't do that. But anyway, Ugly, you ready to go on the Ugly?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.